Ty, you've been talking about national TV games forever. To have one, to have your team play like this, to win on this stage, how does this all feel for you right now?
Feels good. Feels good. Good to win, especially in a game where nobody expected us to. And you don't play on national TV if you don't win games. So the more we come out here and prove that on a night-to-night basis that we can win games, it's going to change, you know. And that's all we're about right now is, you know, changing how this organization is viewed and how we are as players viewed, and just coming out here and competing every night.
How do you describe the atmosphere and focus you guys had before the game compared to a normal game, knowing what was at stake and knowing what you could have done with the victory?
I don't even know if it was as much about what was at stake as much as what they did to us last time we played. They beat us pretty bad. You know, they're running actions and stuff at the end of the game to, you know, get the score up and stuff like that. And that's basketball. I mean, ain't nobody mad. I'm not the score police, but you know, I think that just left, you know, a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth, and we wanted to come out here and respond the right way.
Myles, you've played in playoff games before. Last one here was against those guys. How did this atmosphere stack up to what you've seen in those games?
Bro, I haven't seen this place like this in like 3-4 years, man. That was incredible. Just the energy in the building. It never really died down. It was very consistent. And obviously, when we got the fourth quarter, this guy made some huge plays. And, you know, I think the city is really starting to rally around this team and, you know, making noise in the right way.
Todd, what have your last 72 hours or so been like? I mean, like, when did you start feeling sick? When did you know you were going to be able to play on Saturday? What's been like just to get right since then?
Yeah, I mean, I just woke up on the morning in game day against Miami. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Like, I didn't go downstairs or nothing. Doc came to my room and, you know, just put me on meds right away. And I was, you know, trying to fight to play, but my body was not allowing that. And honestly, they weren't either. So, you know, I've been sleeping for, feels like forever. Just, you know, sleeping. I knew I was going to play tonight, though. I mean, there was no doubt about that. I don't care what was going on. So, yeah, I've just been a lot of sleep, but we got great medical staff. They've done a great job of getting me on the right medication and stuff like that, and, you know, just coming out here to play the right way.
I mean, when did you know you were going to be good enough? I mean, by virtue of will, you were going to try to make it, but, I mean, when could you tell, like, okay, like, I can actually do this. It's not going to kill me to actually play this game, and what was it like in-game to play through it? Yeah,
there was never a doubt from the minute I got sick. I mean, it was more of a doubt if I was going to play against Miami, but this was no question. Didn't matter. I was going to play tonight, but what was the second part?
How did you actually feel in the game? I mean, like,
first half I was dead. But again, medical staff did a really good job. Got me an inhaler at halftime, and I was able to breathe in the second half, so that felt better. But yeah, just, you know, they did a good job.
And had to ask about just the 4-point play. Just what do you see there? You know, the step back. I mean, just to sort of take me through that sequence. You know, just that shot and just what it meant to hit that one.
Yeah, I think it was like we were just trading buckets at that point. You know, I feel like they got two elite shot makers, but I feel like I'm an elite shot maker as well, so we're just trading buckets right there. And we had a lot of guys step up, AA, made some big plays for us in the fourth. Myles was big for us in the fourth. Buddy was big in the fourth. We had a lot of different guys step up. So, you know, I just saw some daylight, saw some space, put it up. He fouled me, and it went in.
Myles, what was it like to see him do that considering how bad a shape he was in, which you had to know?
It was never a doubt for me, man. This guy worked so hard, man. He worked on his game, you know, more than anybody here. And those shots that you see him take, the step backs, the side steps, like, he works on that. So we all have trust on him to go out there and, you know, hit him in those big moments. You know, he never shies away from those moments either. You know, that's just a testament to, you know, who he is, and a testament to, you know, just the hard work that he's put in just to get to this position. You know, he earned the moments.
And obviously for both of you guys, the defense was clearly there throughout the first half. Obviously, you guys were making Tatum and Brown work. Aaron obviously defended pretty well. But just how happy were you with that side of the ball? That's obviously been the biggest issue for you guys to work on. It seemed like you guys were contesting just about everything they put out.
Really? Our defense was there? You think so?
I mean,
Dustin, I appreciate you for that, man.
Being a little kind. I think we still have work to do, obviously, but I think in those big moments where we're getting battle tested, you know, things are getting a lot better for us. You know, we're taking a lot more pride than I think we have in the past, and that's really all defense is about, man. You can draw up all the schematics in the world and all that, but, you know, it's just about just, you know, anchoring down and, you know, getting the stop.
Wow.
Myles, you touched on this just moments ago, but they were yelling MVP, MVP for the guy right next to you. Mm-hmm. How special has it been to be able to play with him and to see the moment he had here tonight and just to see these fans really buying into what he's bringing on the court night in, night out?
Yeah, man, the backstory of it all makes it, you know, the most special. And the fact that he got his opportunity, he's able to take it and run with it. You know, Indy's got, you know, their MVP, you know, right before their very eyes. I mean, it's just dope to, you know, see where this franchise, where I started with, to, you know, what it's becoming and what it potentially can become from the same level. So, You know, it's honestly, like I said, it goes back to the atmosphere, man. Just to even, I haven't heard MVP chants maybe when Oladipo was here, but like it's just, you know, Ty's when Cut really came in to take it over, man. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, Tyrese, real quick for you. Seemed like something changed there going into the third quarter. What did Rick tell you guys, and what changed where you guys seemed like you took your defense to a new level, and obviously you guys are playing a lot of great team basketball?
Yeah, I mean, we just changed some things schematically on defense there. Jason was doing a really good job of putting me in the action and attacking me in that first half. So we did a good job of changing it up a little bit and figuring it out defensively. And, you know, if we just get a couple stops, we're going to run, and nobody wants to run with us when we're getting stopped. So we were able to do that, and I think it's big kudos to the coaching staff, but also we had so many different guys step up and make big plays. TJ there in the third with that big steal. I thought Buddy was really good. This guy was awesome. So we just had a lot of different guys contribute. We've talked all season about the depth of this team. Yeah, we're just coming out here and competing, playing defense.
Ty, how rare is it for you to go to an inhaler like you did?
I've never done that before. Whatever it takes, I guess.
What did it mean to you to hear the MVP chants in a city that's truly embraced you?
Yeah, I mean, from the minute I've got here, there's been a lot of love from this organization and this fan base. Really means the world to me to have the opportunity to represent Indiana and represent this organization, this storied organization. So, I'm just going to keep coming out here and playing to my ability and helping lead. They put a lot of faith in me, obviously, the offseason with my contract and stuff like that, but my teammates do as well. So I got to step up to the moment, and I'm in an amazing part of my life right now. I'm 23 years old, and thrust into one of the best positions you could possibly be in life. So it's really exciting for me, but at the end of the day, I just want to win. And so whatever it takes to do that, I'm going to do.
Myles, defensively with Aaron, what he was able to do really on both ends of the floor, maybe a revenge game, what have you. What popped about what he was able to help you guys with tonight?
That ain't nothing new, man. That's just who Aaron Nesmith is. I think he's shown that time and time again, but I think Aaron's really added an element to his offensive game this year. That's made him a real, 3-and-D guy and guy that can get downhill. And defense is where he can hang his hat. But I've just seen him, grow since he's been here. He's worked to get the position that he's at. He came here and he earned his minutes in a sense. He loves guys that gets out there and, dives on the floor and gets guys going. And I think he's truly embraced that role. So we know if, the other team has a star player, we can stick him on him and, expect the best.
Defense.
I know you anticipated my question. I know you both know this because you get it hammered into you all the time about defense. But when you see it validated on a big stage against an elite offensive team, you're able to get stops or at least make them work for it. What does that do for you mentally in terms of kind of putting that in your head that, yeah, we can play good defense with it?
See, man, we get some national. Yeah.
You want to answer? Go ahead.
I think that more than anything, we know we're capable. I think we when you have balanced scoring, I think that it's just basketball math, basketball science, whatever you want to call it. Guys compete harder on defense. So when we all feel involved and we all, this guy leads the league in assists. The more and more he gets guys involved and whatnot, it just makes you human nature. It makes you want to compete harder on the other end of the floor. And I think, when we have those balanced attacks, the nights are a little bit easier. But when you have those nights where you're not touching the ball as much or you're frustrated, the ball's not coming your way, you start to have a little bit of a lapse on defense. It happens. But I think we're maturing out of that. I think it's something that's been drilled, into every single practice with our drill work and whatnot and our defense. So, if we want to get to the playoffs and be that elite team, obviously that's where we got to hang our hats. The old saying, what is it? Offense wins games, defense wins championships. Like, I'm a big believer in that myself. So, we're going to keep winning games and figure it out on defense.
Stops, yeah. Good stops.
Anybody else?
What is it like when you're out there in the third quarter and he's going on the run he had? I think he scored or assists on 24 for the first 27 points. I mean, obviously you see it all the time, but what is it like in the middle of a run like that when you see him get going the way he did?
Well, I know in his confidence, we feed off of that. So when he's starting to make shots, he's jumping around, he's getting the crowd involved, the energy just starts, it's infectious, right? Like everybody starts to feel it now. We're a little bit more amped up and whatnot. And like you alluded to it, I see this all the time, man. This is nothing special to me. I see this guy do this countless times since he's been here. And I know he's going to continue to do it in the future. But definitely just the team up and amps us up and, gets us going. It's good stuff.
How many points they scored per half? Defense.
That's
make
all we
sure-
focus on.
Just
You
make
can't
sure we
tell.
talk about. Everybody wants to talk about defense. Talk about defense.
And that big stop he had on Tatum at the end. Talk about that too.
No, don't talk about that. Defense. Defense. Please.
You mentioned you need the inhaler at halftime. Obviously, you spent a long time waiting to have this kind of opportunity today. You guys have talked a lot about what this tournament can do for you guys. Sort of what was going through your mind at halftime when you felt like you were trying to catch your wind and try to get going? And then what did it feel like when that third quarter started and you kind of got the ball rolling the way you did?
Yeah, I just felt like there was an opportunity for me to be better. I went in at halftime. I was like, dang, I'm not really being aggressive enough for us to win games, and I was awful defensively. So just trying to figure it out. And I think we had a good conversation in the locker room amongst ourselves as players, and Coach came in with some good stuff. But to be honest, Drew texted me at halftime and yelled at me, so that's usually how every game goes. So that woke me up a little bit. But I'm just trying to figure out a way to win. I mean, we've wanted to be in this situation all year, and here we are. And now it's not just about being here; it's about winning. So
Facts.
we're excited to get to Vegas and play some more defense.
Fire.
Very proud of our team. These guys faced a lot of adversity throughout the game. Going into halftime down 7 was tough after we'd had a good start. But the third quarter really resurrected where we were. We had a lead going into the fourth, and I thought McConnell, in that last 3 minutes of the third quarter was key. He just made a lot of things happen. He dished a buddy for the dunk. He had the one up and under against the 7-2 guy, and got the crowd going. And when the building starts rocking, when you're in a home game in the playoffs, that's when special things can happen. And so, down the stretch, Tyrese hits the 4-point play. Certainly feel like the crowd and the energy had something to do with that. And our crowd was amazing. They were amazing all night long. And so, hats off to them. Boston's a great team, and we stood toe to toe with them, and we faced a lot of challenges throughout, and found a way to win. So really happy for the guys.
Rick, last week some of your players were talking about being frustrated after some losses. What does a win like this on a stage like this mean to this team?
Well, it's so important for our city, our franchise, and our players. The thing you don't realize, you see an NBA team and you see, 15 guys or 13 guys that are dressed or 15 or whatever it is, and you don't realize all the people behind the scenes that are working to, fill the building and, keep the court, looking great and serviceable. I mentioned that before the game, what Mel Raines and her crew did. And so it's uplifting, and it's cool right now. The Colts are on a winning streak. The Pacers, we're headed to Vegas. There's a lot of good things going on in the city. And so I'm just happy for our fans. And we're playing a style that, is not only a fun style to watch, but it's a fun style for our players to play. And defensively, these guys present, very unique challenges, with their size and ability to create. And so, all things considered, we did a pretty good job taking away their threes. And, we survived some of the hellacious shots that they hit.
Tyrese's first ever triple-double. What stood out to you about what he was able to do tonight?
Yeah, he was terrific. And, as the game went on, he became more and more determined on the defensive end. They were trying to attack him, to wear him down. Jenny and Jim came up with some good adjustments to help us, take away some of their momentum. And then, he got deflections. He scooped up loose balls. And then, some of the shot making and the assists, were breathtaking. So really happy for him. There will be many more triple doubles to come, I'm sure.
He mentioned needing an inhaler and feeling like he needed to be more aggressive at halftime. What conversation did you have with him about the first half of the game and what he needed to do in the second?
Well, we were going to get him an early rest coming off of the bronchitis or whatever he had, and did that with TJ in the first half. got him back in. And then, you know, with the longer timeouts in national TV games, you don't realize it, but they're 3 minutes and 25 seconds, I think, or 3.5 minutes. And so there's a lot more time for your star player to rest. And so really encouraged, you know, our guys during the timeouts to stay down until, you know, the last 20, 25 seconds. I saw Jason Kidd do it for years in Dallas. You know, he just, you know, he stayed there. You know, he cleared his mind, and he really uses it as an opportunity for physical and mental rest, because NBA players put an awful lot into the competition. There's so much going on out there. There's so many events.
You've been around the game for a long time, and you don't just hear fans start yelling MVP unless they feel like this person's performing on the court. And we heard that a lot tonight with Tyrese. How special has it been being able to coach him and to what these fans witnessed here tonight and the performance he put on tonight?
Yeah, he's really a one-of-a-kind player, you know, that I've coached. His skill level, his connectiveness to his teammates, his leadership, you know, his ability to both give teammates confidence and deliver the ball on time, on target, as well as, you know, score in the 30s or 40s if needed to win a game. So exceedingly special player, and, you know, he's learning more and more about, you know, the rigors of winning at the highest level. You know, the thing about the in-season tournament is that as you advance, you're gonna play 2 more games, win or lose in the quarterfinals, you know, against better opponents. And so this is something that's great for us because we need high-level competition. And it really is another thing that's a simulator of playoff basketball. So it really helps. It really helps us. And so, you know, coming out with a win tonight was big for a lot of reasons that I mentioned. But I know this is very special to him as well.
You guys held them 12 of 41 from 3. What did you like about the defense, the contesting overall, and how much do you think just the smaller lineup you played with when Myles was not on the floor had to do with that?
I don't know what the numbers were on that lineup, but, you know, a lot of effort, a lot of time and effort went into this game plan. Mike Weiner was the point man for this scout. He's one of the best I've ever seen at breaking a team down. And he, along with Jim and Jenny, really talked about, you know, what our defensive strategy was going to be. It's one of the most difficult teams you could ever play because of their ability to rise up like they did in the first game against us and just knock in 3-point shots in your face. And they also drive the ball, and they were doing more cutting tonight. So, you know, Mike really helped us put together a solid plan to make it as difficult as possible. You're not going to stop a team like this, but he put a lot of work into it. And, you know, the adjustments that we made, there was one adjustment we made at halftime, which is something we had never done, but our players adjusted to it. We did it and slowed them down a little bit, you know, in the second half. So, you know, I'm sure both teams put a lot of work into this game.
Well, you'll tell me what the adjustment was.
No.
Okay, didn't think so. It was worth a shot.
It was a pick and roll coverage thing.
Okay. Aaron, obviously, this is always a game that matters to him, you know, whenever he gets to play Boston. But it seemed like just both ends, certainly a lot of big buckets driving the ball late, and just the defense that he gave on Tatum and on Brown. What impressed you about him in particular tonight? I know he does it all the time, but what stood out to you just about what he was able to do?
Yeah, you know, he's just he's a relentless competitor. And, you know, in both Miami games, he got the ball downhill at the right times. You know, he did it again tonight in the fourth quarter when we needed it, when they were really paying a lot of attention to Ty, and Buddy was having a hard time shaking loose. And so, you know, he's a terrific young player. We're very fortunate to get him in the trade, you know, with Malcolm, and so, you know, he's a big part of our future, and his versatility is something that is so valuable. You know, it's hard to find a guy that can, you know, stay in front of Tatum, let alone make it difficult on him when he's shooting the ball. But, you know, Aaron played against him for 2 years in practice, That certainly helped. And it wasn't like Tatum didn't have a great game, but Aaron did a very commendable job, staying in front and at least making the shots as difficult as possible.
Rick, when Ty first got here, I think he balanced back and forth of when to attack, when to be decisive, and when to get kind of others involved. We saw that third quarter where he accounted for the first 20 points in one way or the other. What has that kind of evolution been like for you to see up close, him just being 23 years old and really taking off?
Yeah, I don't worry much about offensive adjustments with him. Our team, most of the things that we talk about are defensive adjustments because we want to put ourselves in a position to make shots difficult, rebound, and get into our running and pace game. It's clear that Ty's evolution is ongoing, and it's erupting before our very eyes. And the 44-point game in Miami was something else, and we probably caught a break in a way that he was able to take a game off because that game I think took a lot out of him. He ended up playing 40 minutes because we had foul trouble and other things. But tonight, the longer timeouts helped him, and I thought we tried to spell him when we could. He still ended up playing 40 minutes, but in some playoff games, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But he's a spectacular, spectacular player, and I know that Tatum got Player of the Month, but Tyrese had to be right there, down the line, things like that will happen.
You mentioned your pace game, Rick, and the way you guys get out and run when you get going. When you guys shoot 29% in the first half from 2 and you're only down 7, do you sort of look at that as, hey, if we could just keep hanging around with our offense, we always have the ability to go on a 15-point run at any point and flip a game around? Yeah,
we have great belief in our offense and what we're doing, and our players are getting better and better at just finding ways to help each other cause problems for the opponent. The big issue we had in the first half were the rebounds. We just, we would play out a defensive possession. There were 4 or 5. We did a great job and just couldn't secure the rebound. And they get it back, and Hauser hits a 3, and then somebody else gets it and ends up making a layup, and stuff. So that stuff is our challenge, and so we just gotta stay steadfast and just keep working on those things. But I like the way we play because it's a fun style, but it's a commitment. Running is a commitment, and you gotta have guys that are in great condition and are willing to run to the corners. Like guys like Tyrese and Buddy Hield and Nesmith and Mathurin. These guys are in amazing condition. I mean, and they can run all day, and so that's the kind of commitment you have. A lot of guys say they want to run, but then you get into a real running situation, and it's quite a different commitment than what they probably expected.
You mentioned it, but you've been around a lot of great players in your career playing and coaching. I was just curious, you've seen Tyrese have a lot of runs like he did at the start of the third quarter when I think he scored or assisted on 24 out of 27 points. What is it like when you're sort of watching him take a game over like that?
Well, there's a surreal element to it. And, the players in today's game have increased their range so much, that sometimes a guy will – do a killer crossover, step back, and shoot a 37-foot shot. And if you grew up in the 80s and 90s watching NBA basketball, it's kind of like, wow, what? And then holy, it's pretty amazing. But all these guys, Tatum made a 30-footer, 33-footer tonight. Brown does it. Tyrese hit a few of them. We had to deal with Duncan Robinson. He makes them, the last 2 games before we played this one. And that's where NBA defense is different, and it's changing. And trying to keep up with, what NBA defense means now is a challenge because it's much more read and react than just to simply have a system. And so, we work on it constantly, and you know, and we're going to continue to do that as well.
You guys had the first group win in the NBA's in-season tournament. You were the first team to qualify for the knockout round. How does it feel to be the first to qualify for Vegas?
Feels good. Excited to go to Vegas. That was an exciting game, fun game, playoff atmosphere. So we're all happy.
What do you think it's been about the in-season tournament that has found your best play here from a team perspective?
I mean, it does raise our level of competitiveness. Like, it's something to play for, and I think we all really look forward to this game, especially having performed in Boston earlier this year. So this game meant more to us, not only for the in-season tournament, but also for a little revenge game.
Felt like you and Bruce were both really pivotal defensively, taking on those two wings. And it seemed like you guys had as good of a game as you've had on the defensive side of the floor. Take me through the battles, what you were seeing, how you were able to have success.
Just be physical with them. Like, they're phenomenal players, all NBA players. Just make them take tough twos. And I think me and Bruce did a good job of that tonight. And they're going to score. They're going to get there, so don't overreact, don't foul.
Take me through what it was like to be out there in that last fourth quarter stretch. Ty hits the three. It kind of gets punctuated by your dunk. That was, I think, as exciting of a moment as these fans have had in years.
Yeah, I mean, his three was huge. I think when he made that 4-point play, that's what allowed us to separate and really take control of the game late in the fourth quarter. So my dunk was just the exclamation point, but I think that shot was the turning point.
You guys head out to Vegas now. You don't know your opponent, but you know it'll be a high-caliber team. What specifically do you think you guys are going to need to do once you get out there to bring home the cup?
Bring that same energy like we did tonight from the jump for 48 minutes. I thought we did a good job today playing with the same force, energy, pace for 48 minutes, and we got to do that 2 more times.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What are the emotions here in the locker room? Yes, just one game, but this one, it felt more significant.
Yeah, it was great vibes in here. Everybody was extremely happy, just because everybody's seen what they did to us in Boston, so it was personal. And now we get a trip to go to Vegas.
You called your own play in that Boston game unacceptable. What did it mean to you and for this team to be able to bounce back against the Celtics specifically?
Yeah, it's great. We all played together. Everybody scored a ball. But for me personally, I tried to be aggressive and assertive at the beginning of the game because we couldn't have any bad starts like we usually do. Can't get down with them because they're a great team. But everybody showed up today. Ty was great. Finally rebounded the ball to get his first triple-double, so it was great.
We were just talking with Aaron, and it kind of felt like he and your defensive efforts against Tatum and Brown were really key down the stretch in this one. Can you take us through those battles and where you guys found some success on the defensive end?
Yeah, with those great players, they're going to get to their spots. You just got to make it tough on them. And Aaron did a great job. My defense could be a lot better, but Aaron did a great job on Tatum tonight. He was hitting tough shots on him, but just sometimes you got to tip your hat and run down the other end. But defensively, we could be a little better, but we did a good job tonight.
This team has been at its best in the tournament, but you're going to start facing some of the best here now that you head to Vegas. What's going to be the key once you get out there?
Stay together, be positive. Just go out there and win, play our brand of basketball for 48 minutes, and I don't think anybody can beat us.